So one of the things that we need to do with foot is be able to control both supination and pronation. And one way we can do that is actually training our body to twist and go round whilst the foot stays stable. So we can move our foot round and focus on actually mobilising the ankle joint, but it's actually being able to control ground reaction force, so our control whilst we're contacting the floor, which is very important. So what I want to do here is teach the foot how to unlock. And that is something we need to do very, very carefully and with always control, which is why in the video you can see that I'm holding on to something so I have full support at all times. So I'm holding on to a squat rack here. Make sure you're holding on either to a table or something at the side or a squat rack itself, so you have full stability at all times. And what I want to do is really push down and make sure I'm driving through my big toe and the heel is contact with the floor. What I'm going to do now is really reinforce that foot position, and I'm going to let my knee very carefully internally rotate and let the foot cave in. So this is the foot going into pronation and the knee going inwards. Now this may seem like a bad thing to do, but as you can see here, the foot has changed shape slightly, and the muscles and the bones that you can't see here are unlocking, which is allowing this foot to create a position which is then going to help it propel ourselves forward. So being able to unlock the foot is actually very, very healthy for the bones in the foot, as long as it's done with control and in tandem with the muscles above the hip stabilizing. So what I want to be doing here is having a soft bend in the knee. I want to control in the hips. I want to really think about how I'm internally rotating the femur as the tibia and fibula, so the lower bones in the leg, are going inwards, but I'm controlling the foot motion, and this is helping open up the foot in a pronated position. So I'm going to do this very, very carefully, rotating the knee in and then bringing it back. And as you can see, there's a nice swivel movement as the foot is unlocking, but there is no change in the big toe, which is going to strengthen all the muscles going forward. Now obviously, if you have any type of knee irritation or knee pain, this is something you need to be very, very careful doing. But what the goal is here is that we want the knee to come in. It's just done with the control through the hip, control through the big toe, and both the tibia and fibula and the femur going in at the same rate with control. Then once we've done about 5 to 10 rotations and you feel that that joint has opened up, we can go the opposite way and train supination. And it's the same principle, but this time, as you can see, that my foot's now changing shape, so it's increasing the arch and going into a more supinated position. And this is done by rotating my hip round, so I have external rotation going on in this left hip here. So we're training external rotation in the hip and a supinated foot position in tandem. Again, I would do anywhere between 5 to 10 on each side prior to training, or just doing it every day for general foot health. It's not going to be uncommon to find that one side is easier to go into pronation and the opposing side is easier to go into supination, because bilateral imbalances in the feet are very, very common. Please always do this with care. Always make sure you're supported, bracing through the abdominals and the trunk, and make sure there's a soft knee and complete control through the hip and the foot at the same time. If you drive your foot in and you have restricted range of motion, work within your active range until that improves, and then look to increase the range of movement after that. It's movement quality over repetition in every sense.